I'm going to stick with that because of my personal experience. What I figured out that the roadmap or the suggestion I have for the person is start applying for job.
Hmm.
Because once I started for applying for a job and going through that job funnel and job interviews, I began to figure out that I was worrying about a lot of things that is not required from a particular job title. For example, uh, a brief background about me. I did 3 years of, I have 3 years of experience in TCS as SAP basis consultant. Then I came here to do business analytics. And then I wanted to go into a combination of marketing and sales analytics. So domain is industries, marketing and sales, and the technical part is analytics. What I
Hmm.
figured out that no one was worried, no one was asking me a lot of questions about maybe Python. They
Hmm.
were asking a lot of questions about SQL and Excel, and they were highly interested in what I've done in those industries.
Hmm.
To answer that individual, whoever have this question is, don't overcomplicate by thinking that I have to checkbox all the things in the list, because whatever job you might be targeting or whatever background you have, you don't need all the things that a YouTube video or what a Google search or a chat GPT is telling us. My one of my mentor told me that, Sam, all the famous songs are made from three major chords or minor chord. Using that, you could play everything.
Yeah.
So similarly, I feel as in a roadmap, you don't need a lot of fancy things. It's about the mindset that you pick up from this job. We could dive deeper into what I was asked in different internship job interviews or the full-time job interviews. So I feel, yeah, that's my suggestion is start applying for jobs and try to go through the entire interview process. You'll figure out what skills that the industry is looking for right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll add a couple things, and you covered it pretty well. The basics and fundamentals are the important, right? So as I was looking at this question, if I'm a fresh grad, I started saying that I'm a fresh grad, right? So for me, I think I I should be open to many options, starting from data analyst roles, like that just doesn't demand too much of a high band skills on ML side, or that kind of area, because you may want to get in the industry, navigate your career up through that path. And that way, I think, as you mentioned, you can highly focus on like picking up a couple of skills like SQL, Python, basic Pythons. You don't need too deep, because if you're not going on the high ML side, and then the visualization, storytelling, your communication skills, some statistical knowledge, and that should get you uh, actually pretty well started, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Frankly, I've been through that internship cycle. I till I might have interviewed with 20 companies for
Yeah.
internship and full time. Excel stays the top of the list. Like pivot tables, they're going to ask about it, and being an analyst, they expect us to know it like in and out.
Yeah.
So it surprises me, but yeah, Excel, SQL, and then case studies.
Okay.
You could solve case study using whichever tool you want. So that's where I come from is people are interested in your business acumen and how you think uh, and what you did in the past. So we could dive deeper into that part too is what sort of projects or how you practice those things. Yeah, we could dive deeper into that.
Right. Right. Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much. I think we covered pretty well on that question. So the other one I have is, if I'm from the non-tech background, for example, no CS background, is there a potential to break into data analytics or data science, or like how
Yeah,
much CS will help versus uh, without a CS? What is the hold back?
got it. So I was wondering about this thing and I came up with a small one page slide that I want to share right now.
Yeah, go
And
for it.
I also want to share how do I think about it. And yeah, if you're on the call. So what I've seen is from all the job search till now is you could divide your previous experience into two parts. One is the tools you know and the domain knowledge you have. For example, so Nirmal, can you play the individual who is from the non-tech, right? And I'm going to ask a couple of questions. So it could help the audience to build up like how I think or what I've experienced till now.
Yeah,
Does it
yeah,
work?
yeah, yeah,
Also, so what's your background when you say non-tech? Do you have any work experience?
yeah. I have some work experience, and I've been working on uh, chemical engineering, for example.
Chemical engineer. Okay, gotcha.
When
So
I
in
say tech, it's still engineering, but I meant
yeah,
by mostly CS
uh,
side, or electrical, that kind of background. Or I can even say,
gotcha.
let's say I come from background of basically uh, I have undergrad in arts, right? So
Let's do, and let's
yeah,
go specific as fashion.
yeah,
Okay. So I'm thinking about an individual who have experience in fashion, right?
that sounds like
They
an interesting career. I might
yeah.
have to change my profession.
And awesome. So this is the domain part this person already has, right? The next suggestion for me is to ask this person is what sort of problems do you solve in your work? Okay, so Nirmal, my next question is at your current job, what is the most important thing for us? So, for example, let's imagine that you work at a store and you are making sure that you sell more things of a
Yeah.
particular company of fashion. So, can you tell me what you're tracking as part of your job in this fashion industry?
So we are trying to. We have a list of customers, and I think top 20% of customers is what they are very regular. They spend good amount of money, and they have been loyal to us. So my goal is to have some sort of personalized, the kind of like fashion plan or suggestions, or we can even come up with some recommendations what will work for them, so we can keep their loyalty and then grow our
Mhm.
business. And
So,
that is our
mhm.
first priority. Yeah.
So kind of you are focused on personalized marketing and increasing the sale, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now the suggestion from me to this individual I have is look at your current job or the industry you're working in, right? And then figure out what's the goal that you want to achieve at the end of the day as part of your current job. It is not required to be related to data or anything. You just figure out what is it. And then you will start understanding what tools you could use to figure out that answer. So a lot of times what I've seen is rather than SQL, Excel is the answer. So a lot of your stored data would be in Excel. Start creating something to find this answer. Okay. And I'm a person who believes in that you go through that journey and you begin to pick up what is needed. In simple words, the suggestion to that individual who is coming from fashion background is don't over complicate overthink that you want to go to data analytics. You have to learn statistics. You have to learn Python, SQL. No, my suggestion is pick a tool and try to solve this and make it better. There's one more reason why I tell you is when you go through job interview process, Nirmal, a lot of time they're going to ask you behavioral question. They will ask you, Nirmal, can you tell me a time when you use Excel or you use something to change what was already going inside your team or inside your org? So all the top companies are going through this behavioral rounds, and that's where this sort of thinking comes and helps you is how you problem solve rather than worried about this tool section. And also, there's one more thing that I want to give you visual is a lot of time when I started looking for a job, Nirmal, one mistake I was doing is I thought that I will get a master's and then I could directly jump to the data scientist role.
Yeah. That I get a
And
lot.
and frankly, right now I'm also not there to be a data scientist. What I understood is you have to create step by step and give some proof of your past work. For example, let's jump into my LinkedIn to show that my journey, how it's been. So I started with system analyst, SAP basis consultant. It's very technical and a consultant role. So that's where I started. So level zero for me, that's where I started when I came for
Mhm.
masters. I wanted to go to become a scientist or analyst, that was the dream, and that's why I enrolled. What I figured out that during internship search, I was taking this leap of wall that hey, I don't have background in data analyst or the data set you're going to work in, but you have to trust me and take a leap of faith and
Yeah.
offer me a job role. And it wasn't working. And that's when what I started to do is I started to reach out to NGOs and started working with them.
Hmm.
So there were two groups where I worked, which was Jacinta Peralta. It was part of. I was lucky I got it from my school itself,
Hmm.
and the another was Data Mentorship Program. What I did was I reached out to them, simple message, hey, uh, uh, the person is Rajvi who takes care of it. Hey Rajvi, I noticed that you run this program. I was part of this program. Can you take care of the registration and the marketing and the sales part of your org? And that's where she allowed me to do it, and I took that part. What I'm trying to share is that experience became the next staircase in my storytelling. So when I went to give interview for Siemens, it was in June of uh, yeah, it was in summer. Last year's January.
Hmm.
I had story to tell from Peralta Jacinta and Data Mentorship Program. So what I'm trying, my next part of the suggestion is, if you're coming from a non-tech background, you eventually you want to become a data scientist, but you have to give proof of your work to the employer or the people uh, where you're interviewing. So try to set up the stairs. Yes. Hey, I'm coming from a non-tech background. I need a chance to prove myself. Then I would suggest is reach out to some NGOs or people where your knowledge could be helpful, and it will help you to climb that stair. Right now, yeah, that's what I've seen. So these are two parts of my suggestion for that individual. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, thanks for the visual. The analogy of that thing makes sense. Yeah, I was also thinking while you were talking is like the one thing we mostly commit mistakes is including myself is sometimes we think about tools and technologies to uh, build it or stack our resume too much, and then you realize that do you need everything for your domain of interest? And that's why I suggest people like pick at least three domains of interest, and initially you may not find your which one is your kick, right? So for example, I was in a fintech for some time. I realized that that's not my cup of tea, and I want to go to do security, back to security, right? Because all the data works you are eventually doing, right? You need to enjoy the data. I mean, data is going to be messy. Data is going to be like, if you are a data analyst or data scientist, and any role in the data, uh, mostly you're going to be playing with that. And then if you don't like the data, like it's like I talk to sometimes folks like, hey, I want to get into Amazon, for example, and then they don't like e-commerce data. They don't like any recommendation engine type of model. They're mostly into something else, like maybe like image classification for other stuff. But you can definitely do image classification in Amazon too. What I'm trying to mean is they have high interest on the healthcare data, for example. Then I mean, there's a mismatch. You need to figure that piece too, right? So domain and the
Yeah.
tool that you have, there has to be very very tight correlation there. Yeah.
Awesome. And I agree with your point. And during the HR round, the initial call that you get, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of time you could hear that they're typing in the background. When you're talking, there's good. Tut, 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 tut. What I asked some of them, they told me is, we are noting down what you're saying, and does it actually match with what we are looking for? So you have two options. Either you could make up the information, or you could be genuine and be real about what you're talking. What I figured out is if you're not genuine, by the final round, someone would have figured it out. By
Yeah.
so yeah, we will talk about it. Is that that's something I understood during the job search is how can we find what we're inclined to and
Yes.
how apply there. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's move on. So the other one is I'm gonna have to pick a couple of them. Probably have to leave some of them. Uh, is there? Yeah. So you have gone through two like internships as well as the full time, right? So this is going to be a good question for you. So is there a different strategy for targeting the internship versus the full time roles, or what was your thought process? I'm sure there are some audience here looking for interns as well as full times, right? So that might be helpful.
Of course. So it's just a quick poll. Can you guys click raise hand? Uh, Whoever is looking for internships,
Yeah,
so
there
we
is.
could get a sense of how many people are looking for
Yeah.
internships. So gotcha, 8 people. And how many in the audience are like uh, looking for full-time role within the United States or somewhere? So we could gauge what part should I touch more on their answer. Perfect. So full-time people are more in the
Full time more.
call.
Yeah,
Awesome,
we're gonna
awesome,
have to.
awesome.
Yeah.
No worries. But I will do justice to the internship search too. So, the, uh, so the answer is yes. The I started looking for internship in 2022 summer for 2023. So probably by August, November, I was applying every day, like
Hmm.
around 10 and hundreds to hit the quantity. Right. It wasn't working out. That's when I was going through UDJ's video. I love that guy. So he did an interview and he interviewed someone from some other school, and that person was sharing about cold emails. From there, I uh, started to do a lot of cold emails asking for internships. So what I'm trying to say is how job search for internship and full time is different. What I figured out is internship, a lot of people are ready to take leap of faith on me. They are like, hey, this person will come, student will come in. If he's actually good and understands the data, we would be able to continue him after 3 months. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. But on the other hand, during the full-time role, what I understood is whenever you cold email to someone, they have to take a leap of faith on a person who's going to stay in the company for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So that's the key difference I felt during the job search is in the internship, they are taking higher risk. They are ready to take someone who is from a different domain,
Yeah.
different background. You wouldn't have a lot of your experience in particular role. They are more open to it. But once you go to a full-time role, they're assessing and seeing you as a team member who's going to take responsibility. Uh, so that's where the difference is. And also, one of the difference I saw is when I went for the full-time role, no one was asking me about my college name. They weren't interested to ask my first experience in India or TCS. They were more interested to know what was the previous or the last one. So one of
Right.
my mentor, not mentor, a friend from who works in Amazon shared with me is that in life, I was complaining to him that, hey, I wanted to go to a Ivy League or a more fancier school. He's like, always remember that people are in the job interviews, they are saying what you've done at the last job, or the last place.
Yeah.
So when you're going to internship, they're going to ask what school you are, what project you did. When I came to full-time role, they were asking what's your previous, but it was Siemens. I was talking about Siemens. Then I talked about TCS a bit, but school didn't came up a lot in the conversation. So yeah, in those ways, both of them are different. I could also dive deeper if you want into how the job search look different on both of them too, if you want.
Yeah, so let's hold on to that thought. I think we
Yeah.
covered a little bit, like you said the risk side, which is true. I'm coming from employer side, for example, like when we are hiring intern versus full time. Like you said, with the interns, you might be taking a chance that they might excel, they might come learn. We're gonna give a lot of benefit of doubt, right? We and then because we employer almost have the like when you go on the wine tasting, you taste the wine before you order the bottle, right? So they also already have the opportunity to like see how the intern is coming fitting the culture and whether full-time offer going to extend. So company has option, When you offer
Yeah.
the full time, then obviously you are committed to that person, that like at least long term, 2 3 years, right, or 5 years, whatever, if the person will stay. So basically, that is one from company side for sure, and you covered the strategy from the job seeker side. So that's great. Uh, all right, so let me pick one more. This one I get a lot. I do have my own personal opinion too, but I want to hear from you. Like, are any certifications valuable on your resume for data analytics or data science roles?
This the tough answer is no. Till now, in whatever interviews I went through, it's sad for me too because I also did a lot of certification. But in not none of the interviews, even when I was interviewing for Amazon, I had certificate from Microsoft and Microsoft AI, but they understood the type of problem I wanted to solve. So
Right.
yeah, the short answer is no,
Yeah.
because yeah, it's interesting. But the good thing is once I'm in job, I am trying to pursue the certification and get better at it. But yeah, it's been very interesting for me to also get to know that hey, they aren't going crazy on the certificate or the name. But once you're in the job, yes, certification might matter to be domain expert in the job. That's my personal opinion. What's your call? Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, a similar thought. I think if you are committed to something, and if you find a really good course that is have a very good content, and you want to be a little bit accountable for yourself, doing in a standard format, and you can do it. I mean, I'm not going to say that there are good certifications as well, but if you ask me if it is mandatory, no. I mean, if I'm reviewing resume, I never look for what certification this person has. So
Yeah, if I have an option to go for certification or else go and volunteer for an NGO or a club, I would
mhm.
do volunteering
Yeah,
because all the answers, the storytelling you could do using that experience, but certification, not much.
right, right. All right, I'll pick a last question before we go to the resume feedback. So, and then anything that we didn't cover, obviously we haven't. So we'll come back after we finish the quick resume feedback. We'll do the open the floor for everyone. Raise the hand and come up mute to ask the question. So uh, the last one will be the right mentors, right, and network building, which is very important, right? Because I always tell my mentees that hey, uh, yeah, kind of like commit some time to build your network, right? It helps, and you touch upon a little bit before about cold emails. You also couple times you mentioned your mentor suggested you that, or come across a mentor. So I want to understand the value, and how value is there. I know for sure, but how do you build it? Just some folks can get idea that are they doing the right way versus the wrong way, right? So what is
Of
your take?
course,
Yeah,
yeah, the mentors, I would say, has helped me a lot. The interesting thing is, a lot of them don't know they are my mentors. So that's the interesting thing about life is you meet someone, you talk with them, and they see themselves in you.
yeah.
They want you to succeed. So that's what I've figured out. Also, to set background for all of you is I came to United States in 2022. So I didn't had like network or people I know. And in the early search of job, I figured out that it does helps you to have some insights from good people. So what I did was it worked for me. I'm not sure how it will work out for you, but I would suggest you to give it a try. Is to start reaching out to people with the. So there is two things. If you're looking, asking someone for just work and job, it's it's not mentorship kind of. I'm like you're reaching out to Nirmal. It's like, hey, I have this job in Microsoft. Can you tell me about this? It doesn't help. So in go-to-market team, we were taught two words, Nirmal. I guess it might give you insights. There's two concepts called cold lead and warm lead.
Mm.
Cold lead is always, I explain it to my friends, is I go to a girl and tell her, hey, marry me. It's similar to going to Nirmal saying, hey, become my mentor. Hey, give me a job. The second concept is called warm leads, which is actually used in sales. Is I will go to a Nirmal or a girl and say, hey, can you show me where's the coffee shop? Sorry, coffee kept in the office. Okay. Next, I could go and ask next time is, hey, I did find the coffee machine, but I don't know how to use it. You might come and show me how to use the coffee machine. Then after a couple of days, I show up like, hey, do you want to have coffee with me? I'm going there. I would try something new. So what I'm saying is you warm up your lead. Within sales also we use this concept, they use this concept. And gradually you set up that relationship and understand that is Nirmal interested to mentor me? Or is he interested or that girl is interested to marry me? So that's something that I've figured out is if you are looking for mentors, there are two ways. You go up front and say, hey Sam, I need mentorship. Or the second is you're genuinely interested in that person is you will spend some time. You spend some time to set up that relationship. So I don't like the word network a lot because what I've seen is, for example, with you too, Nirmal, right? Right now I'm talking with you, but the way we interacted was
Yeah,
you were writing on LinkedIn, you were offering some ticket passes to a conference, you
yeah.
gave it to me. The second option for me was to go to the conference and just leave after that. But I met him during the conference. I was genuinely interested in him, why he's giving out free conference pass. I hung out with him. I went to another event in Microsoft. I messaged him, hey, I'm here. He got sick. His kids were sick, so he flew back to Seattle. And then after we didn't talk.
Yeah,
But that's the two things that someone is on this call right now. If you're looking for mentors, use the two ways is cold email or warm email. Warm is to set up that relationship, nurture it. A cold is to upfront go to them and talk about it. For me, what has worked is I did start with cold email. I have to accept that too. The conversion rate is pretty low. So if I drop 1,000 emails, 5 or 4 people will agree to talk with you.
yeah.
And there's more complications to cold email that if around 10% people report your mail as spam, your domain could get blocked. So cold email, you have to be very strategic. There is altogether different mm, research you have to do about the cold email. And the mentors or the interesting people I found was this also serendipity in there. No, I will tell you an interesting story. So I dropped an email to someone asking them, hey, can you help me to understand about Lyft? And
Hmm.
they were in marketing. So I wasn't asking about data analytics, no information about data analytics. And they're like, hey, Sam, how did you figure out about me? I'm like, hey, I found you from LinkedIn. I used a website to guess your email address, and I'm dropping you this email. I'm from India. I don't have a background. I would love to just learn. No questions about job, just knowledge sharing. And we jumped on the call, and he goes, Sam, I just got promoted to the director of being data analytics and marketing. So you have been very lucky because I could give you insights about data analytics too. So what
Hmm.
I'm trying to say is a lot of time once you take a leap of faith, things somewhere fall in its place too. So I can't guarantee you at every cold email you'll get an answer, but when everything falls in its place, it gives you a great dopamine hit. You feel so happy to talk with these interesting people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. I think that is one thing I noticed when I was trying to connect with folks. Like sometimes it might feel like, hey, I'm not hearing back from this any of the folks that I'm trying. But eventually, like these days, I think a lot of people. I would say either your way of approaching wasn't correct, or if it was correct, then they must be busy or they're not interested. It's okay, but
Yeah.
my goal is like if one of them responds out of 20, for example, then even that's a good success, because you are just taking a leap of faith, like just like what you said, right? So
Yeah.
uh, it should work out. So you just have to continue um, trying, building, and cold email. Yeah, there's there's a little bit risk like you mentioned, but once a while it's okay to do. Once a while it's okay to ask a girl, she may say yes, right? So
Yeah, that's also there's one more thing I want to add is so this is also journey. So cold when you will start sending your first cold email, you wouldn't receive any feedback.
yes,
So we'll start pivoting a bit. So how I see it is like I always go to relationship and dating for advice. So the metaphor for how is I think is if I'm going on a date, right? People check my whatever profile I have on the
yeah,
app or my Facebook to figure out what are the green flags I have.
right,
So similarly, whenever you're doing a cold reach out, the person on the other side is trying to figure out what are the green flags or the red flags you have. Green flags are, hey, is this person genuinely interested in me? So what I'm trying to say is, if you have those things, try to offer it in a nice way within your cold email. For
yeah.
example, let me show you how does my cold email signature looks like. So this is how I used to send email, like my email signature is regards Sam Thomas, and then the link to the both the
Yeah.
LinkedIn and the portfolio. Uh, Also later on, I did some things that I could get to know that whoever is opening that email,
Yeah.
I could understand that what is the conversion rate is. If I'm sending 1,000, how many people are opening the email? How many of them are clicking on the link? So I do had that analytics too. Gradually, we'll figure out all these things too. Yeah.
All right. So, with the interest of time, let's pull up the resume that you have. And I don't know if that person is online, but it's okay if she's not. Like I said, we had 8 folks interested submitting the comments on my post, and we picked the lucky one. We'll quickly spend some time, if we can. Maybe I may request you, Sam, maybe wrap up around like 5 minutes. Let's cover the quick highlights, and then we can probably give her better feedback afterwards, after the call, if that's okay.
For sure. So, would you like me to give feedback within this 5 minutes or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
go?
5 minutes. If you can do the
Yeah.
high level, like, hey, this is the plus. I see this could be something that could be improved. At
Yeah.
least the audience will get a general idea. Then what we do is detailed feedback. We'll do it offline.
Of course. For sure. So, do we have Simran on call? So,
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see.
got it. Cool. So, hello everyone. So, this is one of the resume that Nirmal has picked and the lucky one. So, I'm going to share how do I think. I will dissect this recommendation in two parts: good things and the point of improvement I have for this individual. But it
Mhm.
would be great if that person is on the call because I do have to ask some specific questions.
Seems like she is
Uh,
not.
she's not there, right? Do we have the other person that we
What was
picked up?
the other person name?
Oh, I could check. I have that resume handy.
Ranjit or something?
Uh, yeah, Rishi Keshwar.
Rishikesh, is he online?
Yeah, I'm online.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Let's pick this one.
So you're the lucky one. Nice. Hello, Rishi. Can I call you Rishi?
Yeah, you can call me Rishi.
Awesome. So I'm going to think from a student point of view. Okay, so I'm not an expert in resume feedback.
Mhm.
After my 5 minutes, Nirmal could dive deeper because he's been in the industry for a long time. Okay, so uh, first thing I want to know, which job title are you targeting?
I'm targeting data scientist, and but I also have some background in data analytics as well. So I'm also targeting that.
Data analyst, okay. And what's the domain or the industry? For example, I'm dissecting your answer in these two parts. So, what's the domain or previous experience or where you want to go? Both the answer.
Um, so my previous experience was in like image processing, uh, Mostly it was in image processing. I worked with an agricultural startup, and then I worked with Wipro Limited on projects which deals with image processing in detail.
Got
So
it. And
that is,
so is it correct? Is it correct to say that you have dealt with the data sets in agriculture industry, right?
yeah.
Awesome, awesome, perfect. And which industry do you want to go to, like domain? Are you open to anything, or to a specific industry you're trying to pivot to?
For now, yeah, I'm open to anything.
You're open to anything. So,
Mhm.
okay, gotcha. So, in as a student, as when I was applying, one thing we have to understand that for Rishi, the easiest way to find a data scientist job would be in the same agriculture
Mhm.
industry because he has the knowledge of this data sets.
Hmm.
Okay, now the good things I have for your resume is that the format looks pretty good.
Mhm.
It's pretty packed up. Also, the good things is you have all the emails, LinkedIn, GitHub,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, GitHub works.
Mhm.
It's not that active, so it's a red flag. So as I told you before, right? Uh, there's a green flag and a red flag that a person
Okay.
might be seeing in us, right?
Mhm.
So it might affect you. It might. I'm not sure. This is what I believe is it might affect you negatively when someone
Mhm.
opens it and it's just one green.
Okay.
So what I did was I changed this GitHub to uh, a portfolio website. Let me show you that too.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was about to say that.
Okay. Uh, Let me show my entire screen so you guys are going to see everything. But yeah, uh, so this is sorry. So I haven't used it after my internship. This was something I was using during the internship. Okay, I should have maintained it more. It's not loading up. So what I'm trying to say is I would pack up your link GitHub in a website format. So for example, this is what I'm sharing. Saying.
Mhm.
So do you understand HTML and all those things? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So my suggestion is pick a CSS or HTML template,
Mhm.
and this is the link for whoever is looking for GitHub portfolio website. Yeah. It took me one day to figure it out, and I
Mhm.
converted my GitHub into a website. Okay. And do one more thing. In this website, try to embed Google Analytics. So what's also happening is whenever I was dropping a cold email, I had insights on how many people are clicking for which part. This data is pretty old, so you wouldn't be able to see the country. But yeah,
Mhm.
earlier I was able to see which part of the world people are checking my GitHub repository, also how long they were staying on it. So
Mhm.
that's one of my suggestion. It takes just one day to fix it up. Okay. Okay.
Got it.
Uh, Next thing is I like that you kept your skills at the top,
Mhm.
but I do differ on the number of lines you should use
Mhm.
to show the skills. So for
Yeah,
example, yeah, uh,
same suggestion.
yes,
I would
Nirmal?
probably do like at least three categories. You can probably have a better categories there, and
Yeah,
uh, I also vouch for having skills up. Either all the way up or somewhere up, because one thing is, let me quickly. I didn't want to derail you. The way
please, no,
we
take
look
your
at his
time.
resume, the way we look at his resume is, I don't know if you have heard about it. We follow F format, right? So it's just
Yeah,
writing an F because there's no time to go through everything. So just write an F on your resume. What it comes. So
yeah.
the
So
first line, or the first experience. So I would say the first bar of the F is the either technical skills or experience you want to highlight, and then the vertical line in F is like we want to scheme. We can just kind of like a bulldozer run across it because there's no time,
mhm,
right, to go through it.
yeah,
So you have a best sort of putting that top two kind of like a thing, like if you just pulls up, right? So yeah, they follow this kind of format. Either you kind of go zigzag, or most popular is the F format. So make sure your top thing, like if you're putting something on the top, those are the ones they're going to look at it, meaning that you want to put more time and efforts on having that. I saw some resume people writing the like a 5 6 sentence like long paragraph about the summary or objective. I mean, nobody
Mhm.
will read that. So that one is like you just wasted your best shot just putting
Exactly.
the big text blob there, right? Uh so basically, yeah, so that's why I prefer take skills somewhere top, because I mean skills matter to us, right? So
Yeah.
and if you categorize it more efficiently, I
Mhm.
usually suggest my mentees every time that you can always come up with good categorization. Like one is tools and technology or programming language. You throw every programming language on that. The second one is if you are analytics, you just put data analytics frameworks or data science frameworks. You can put all the data science tools on that. And if you have experience in cloud computing, you can have a cloud computing as a third one. At the max, go for four, but nothing more than four, because it just looks like uh, you're not able to categorize it properly.
Awesome. Which was the first one you suggested in? Tools, cloud
Yeah, I
computing.
tools, and then the second one is depending on the title you are going for. Usually, data analytics framework or data science frameworks, right? So it could be sklearn, PyTorch, all kind of data science related tools comes in the
Mhm.
second one. And the first one is pretty much just the programming languages, right? Like SQL, Python, PySpark, right? So whatever every programming language can come on that. And
Mhm.
I suggest people, like if they don't have a cloud computing, it's okay. Then you pick up with the presentation or storytelling tools for the third
Okay.
one,
Yeah.
because that will focus you on more towards analytics, because programming language, data analytics frameworks, and the presentation language, that's the three vertex of the triangle for data analyst. For the data scientist, programming language, data science, ML frameworks, right?
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
they should know somewhat cloud computing too, like a SageMaker or something. It goes on that third bucket. So that tells me at least this person knows everything about it. So just like you have a cloud, obviously, and AI ML is there too, and you can just Docker and everything can also be a part of the either cloud, or it can be a language, depending on how you look at it. So
Okay.
so make
Awesome.
sure you you
Thank.
you have a one category for tools, right? Like tools should go everything. And when you write the tools, like just prioritize based on the role. If you're applying for ML roles, I'll probably
Mhm.
put Python before SQL. If you're applying for the data analyst role, I'll probably put SQL before Python. It's just
Okay.
that the way we read is like, I mean, we are kind of assuming that there's implicit ranking, and if some people are just throwing randomly, but you are just losing the opportunity to put something in the front, right?
No, yeah, it's true. I also want to share one point, Rishi, which worked for me. So
Mhm.
I'm going to stop screen sharing once and let me show my resume, the only the part of the skill section, uh, to show that what worked for me. I'm sorry, Nirmal, we are shooting the 5 minutes
It's
thing.
okay. I already
Uh,
pinged there that I might go 10 minutes extra. So anyone who stays is fine. But I have a recording on, so I'll share with everyone.
got it. So let me pull up one of my resume to show everyone how my skill section look like. Uh, resume. Hmm, that's surprising. But I don't have resume handy right now. Okay, no worries. So in simple words, my resume was the skill section was just two liners, Nirmal.
Yeah.
It was just tech and the soft skill.
Mhm.
What figured out, maybe I could be wrong or right, is I just said skills which are asked in the job description. So, for example, if I want to do a drill for Rishi, let's do that, Rishi. Let's. We are already shooting up the time. Let me do it nicely, the right way I would have done it. So, can you give me a job title that you normally apply for?
Uh, Data scientist is the one I go for normally.
Okay, got you. And can you tell me how do you put the filters, everything?
So over here, I don't go for the experience level, but
Hmm.
um, I do go for the date posted, the early ones.
Okay.
Um,
So like
so
past
past
24?
24 hours or past week, mostly past 24 hours.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And anything else do you keep in the
Uh,
filters?
no. So I don't usually go for easy applies. I directly go for
Mhm.
the ones with the apply link that reaches directly to the company's website.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So over here, what I used to do different, Rishi, was uh, can you tell me what is your top skill that you practice every day?
SQL and
And
AWS.
gotcha. So what I do is I go the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, to show you all the roles that I had till now, none of the job titles were data scientist.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to tell you is, uh, like suggest for everyone is, I always look for the skill, and then the job title used to come up, whose name is entirely different. The good thing was there used to be less crowd there, less people would have applied for it. So this is one of the solution I have is, yeah, uh, also try to search in that way. Let's skip that. Back to, so can you pick one of the job openings? So according to that, we will compare your resume.
Um, yeah, I'll pick the data scientist, the transactions network services.
Got it. So I'm just focusing on the skill part that we were talking about. Is
Yeah.
I use tape in my job search.
Mm-hmm.
So what I used to do is I used to click save or something and used to pop up a list of the technical skills
Mm-hmm.
uh, that I might need for this job, right? And
Right.
I would just maintain those in my resume. So what I noticed was I was Nirmal, I was talking with someone from one of the transportation company, and the recruiter told me is your my resume they was very packed up, and this is same happening for Rishi you too.
Mm-hmm.
Your resume is super packed up,
Okay.
and your font is what's the font size right now?
10.
Uh, okay. I feel I would decrease the font size. What's your call, Nirmal, on this? The font size and the formatting?
What is the thing like font size? It's a little too small. You mentioned.
Yeah, I feel it's a bit small.
Yeah. I don't know what font size he has. Is it 10?
Yeah, it's 10.
10. Yeah, yeah. I think 10 is the lowest you can go.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Usually prefer 11, 12. Like 11 is my gold standard because it just lies in between 10 and 12, right? So 12, you may not get enough space. The other way, I mean, let's try to wrap it up. We'll probably
Yeah.
do extended follow up with you.
Yeah.
Is Your resume overall looks good. It's just a little bit of organization. I see some sentences just cutting off
Yeah.
with a very like one or two words going on the next line. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's just disadvantage for you, right? So you want to rewrite it. Today we have tools like ChatGPT. You can plug in the whole sentence and ask, and you can give a template to the GPT to say rewrite this in this format. I usually prefer to write what you have done, how you have done, and what result you produce. Every bullet point should have the three
Yeah.
key things, and then you give a template, you give one example, and then rewrite, and you can do your own review afterwards, results from the GPT, and then put it there. Sometimes the AI picks the way to condense the sentence because you can ask it to condense it.
Mm-hmm.
We as a human, like sometimes we put extra text trying to mean the same thing, and I've done that. It's about the writing skill, right? So look into your resume where there's sentences that can be condensed. It will give you a little bit more space and you can use higher font.
Mm-hmm.
uh, as long as your bullet points are covering those three aspects that I was mentioning, I mean, it should be good. And then metrics matters, but sometimes like if it is like a process improvement, the qualitative improvement also speaks for itself. Don't try to force metrics everywhere. I've seen resume that
Yeah.
sometimes like it doesn't mean that the value of metrics there, and people are just trying to make it up, so
Mm-hmm.
it will be obvious for interviewer, right? So So make sure of that part too. So I think that should cover our resume thing. Thanks, Ranjit, for that. I mean Rishi, sorry.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably I'll definitely give my feedback for other two potential resumes that I picked up. I don't want to discourage them. I'll give offline feedback for them as well. All right, so now we are at time, and as I mentioned, we will go another 10 to 15 minutes for additional Q&A from you guys. And please feel free to drop the questions. If we don't cover everything, I'm gonna go through this chat, and then probably on the email we'll follow up. If you have to drop, it's okay. I don't want to block your Saturday morning for this, or afternoon or evening. So I will have a recording and I'll send you your way. So, but like if you have questions, this is a time that we are going for live Q&A. Raise your hand and then come off mute and ask.
Thank you so much, Sam and Nirmal, for the resume.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. All right, let me see. Stand up. All right, I can start seeing the questions on the chat. I guess not anyone is willing to. All right, so I'll try to explain the question, but if there's anything to add, the person can come off mute and ask. Okay, so when is the right time to start applying for the full-time roles if you'll be graduating on May 2025?
2025. May 2025. Yeah. So right now you should start applying. That's what I did. So I want to share one more thing is the reason for you to start applying is to figure out is not to get an offer early. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
some people tell me is that, hey, I don't need that offer right now. It's 1 year ahead. But why I would recommend you to apply is to figure out, are you getting HR calls or not? Because what will happen once you start applying, you will understand the resume is not on point, or you will get that feedback, you will improve it, you will set up your LinkedIn, everything. And it will take around 4 to 3 months to set that up, that pace. So that's the reason is start applying right now and figure out, are you ready for industry? And that's how the job application helps you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I usually give folks analogy that if people are like, hey, when do I start hitting the gym if I want a summer body, right? You don't wait until summer, right? So you have to start really early. So it's the same thing. All right. So I have someone who raised a hand here. So let me, Tanvi Shah. Like I'm gonna give preference to people who are coming off mute and raising the hand. Okay, and then I'll pick the question from
Hi,
the chat.
thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. So I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are.
Yes, great. So I wanted to know, I've spoken to a lot of people about how to land up an interview, and many of them say that you need to know somebody who's a manager in the company, or a person who's at a higher position in the company, in the same team, for you to get an interview. Otherwise, it just goes like there are already people who are coming with higher referrals. So does that work? Should I spend time networking or applying? I just want some insight on that.
Nirmal, do you want to go first or should I go?
Yeah, you can go. You can take.
Okay, awesome. Tanvi, let's focus on you. So I'm more into one-on-one. So my question to you is, how many jobs you have applied right now?
It would be like 800 to 1,000, I would say, including all the LinkedIn easy apply and everything.
And when you want to land a job, like what's
Now I
the
graduated, so I'm looking for jobs now.
okay? So my next question is, are you tracking your job applications? How many you have done till now?
Tracking as in following up and all of that. I don't have a matrix like a graph which shows the tracking, but I have it on my Excel sheet.
So when I'm saying tracking is so what, okay, what I'm trying to ask is good. And how many HR rounds you got till now? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to think from this point of view. So
Mhm.
can you quickly tell me these numbers? So did you got any HR rounds till now after 800 to 1,000 applications?
Yes, I've gotten six till now.
Six.
Phone
Okay.
it The phone interview rounds was, I think, four of them.
Hmm.
technical round again 4, and final round no. I got one was the final round, and then I was rejected because like they hired somebody else.
Got it, got it, got it. So for thousand, so the good thing is, so specific to you, Tanvi, uh, quick answers.
Mm-hmm.
I referral did matter during the internship. I did end up an internship because I cold emailed to someone and they were up in the chain. They recommended me to 11 people. During my Amazon role, no recommendations, direct job application, and it landed me.
Okay.
Also, in internship, I had 3 offers. The other 2 offers I got from a normal job application. So,
Uh-huh.
in simple words, no, I don't believe that only having a strong connection within the team or the hiring manager will help you land a interview. Yeah. And if I am in a place, I will try to improve this conversion rate. So, for example, after applying 800, you're landing 6 interview. So
Mm-hmm.
it seems that I will do more intentional job applications. I will talk with Nirmal to do a different call
Yeah.
entirely to how you do intentional applying. So a quick one more screen share, and I want to show all of you how did my metrics look like. So I was using Teal. It's not a paid thing. Sorry, I'm not sponsored by Teal, but yeah. So I applied 296 jobs. I landed 10 interview, and I accepted one. And this is like 6 months 300 applications. That's all.
Did these include all your LinkedIn easy applies? I'm sorry to jump in the middle. I thought like
No.
yeah.
I want to talk. No, I love to have interaction. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't include easy apply. Easy up
Okay.
every day when I'm tired, I'm just clicking easy
Yeah.
apply.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, but I did got 2 interviews from easy apply too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have
Yeah.
any follow up questions?
Me, yes. So, Jen, all right, I can just, it's a detailed question. I'll just email it to you personally to me, so I'll do it later. That I don't want to waste everyone's time on that.
Thank
Oh,
you so
yeah.
much for.
Thanks for being the cognizant there. You can definitely email us, or we can follow up for more detailed conversation. And I think this is some of the great topics that we are leaving on off the side right now. But we want to probably I'll probably plan another call sometime, just focused on, like, instead of focusing on the general conversation where we're covering a lot of things, we'll probably focus only on one thing, and that way it's more specific. Only specific audience can join. So, all right, Sai, Kaushik, you have a hand up, so you can go next.
Hi Sam and Nirmal. Thanks
Yeah.
for doing this. It was really informative so far. So I'll now quickly ask my question. Like I'm more interested in data science roles. So
Hmm.
my profile is more of like data science, and I have no experience to be honest back in India, but I gained a lot of knowledge by doing a lot of end-to-end projects, and I also secured an healthcare, like internship, which was very valuable. I did my data science research intern at Harvard. So my question is like I have been giving some interviews and like when coming to this model interpretation and understanding all the stats, so people are trying to match this business statement and what are the results, how I'm so that kind of thing. So in even in my past interview, like I made a small mistake on interpreting these results. So I just wanna ask like how to gain, like how to match the both of them, like how to sync what are the results and what is expected. So before my understanding was to, like just to dot fit train and you will get the results and this is the accuracy part. But it's far more than that. That's what I understood based on my experience. So how to, like match up these, like industry requirements and what we have. So yeah.
I think you're in mute, Sam.
Thank you so much. Yeah, for data science, thank you, Sai. I would for data science, I would let Nirmal answer it first because he has more insights about data scientist role. Uh, so, Sai, if I understood correctly, you're trying to ask both of us is, do you have experience in particular field which is healthcare and you did
Yeah.
project around it, and you're
Hmm.
applying for a data scientist role which is asking about marketing or sales, right? So, are you trying that how to connect both of this job experience?
No, I just meant like like when whichever the problem statement is, we try to use statistics and we try to derive some insights out of it, right? So I'm just trying to understand like what is the metric that like is it answering the business statement or like something like that. So for
Oh yeah.
instance, I'll yeah
So
yeah Nirmal.
let me interpret it again. So you mentioned that initially you apply multiple domains or multiple areas, multiple type of jobs, as long as you see data science title, right? So which is fair. I did that same thing when I was in early career. But then you're asking that during the interviews, the question, some of the rounds will be focused on the business metrics or the key performance indicator KPIs around that business metrics, and you want to make sure how do you kind of prepare across different domains, if that's the right understanding of the
Uh,
question.
yeah Nirmal. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what I will do is, that is why I was saying earlier, instead of going like one to many on Wild West, what you do is pick at least three. When I say three, you can do it like when the market is very challenging, and if you have like, hey, I have a really good interest on these five domains, then it's okay. But that's a max. I don't want to have any people going beyond five domains to start applying job, because that is just simply creating that. I mean, it's going to be hard for you to kind of like gain any kind of preparation mindset, right? So my rule of thumb is three, and then once you pick those three domains, on those three domains, you should do some groundwork beforehand. Like, hey, what are the key business things? Like, what is this company is driving towards? Applying for specific team in Amazon, for example. If they are e-commerce side, Amazon has many. If they are the logistics side, supply chain side. So basically, even within the company, there is a domain, right? So, and then once you go on the like supply chain, for example, you start learning what are the use cases for data science and ML within supply chain. And then from there, you can understand the use case and you can understand the business talk, right? So now you're going to kind of join back to your data science skills. Like, hey, for example, you get picked up for interview. That's good news. Now, if you are not preparing well for that particular domain, only the first round will be technical. After that, it's going to be a mix of technical, behavioral, domain type questions. And then, as Sam mentioned earlier, eventually they will figure out how much interest, passion you have for this domain. If you're not a good fit, I have rejected candidates who are very technically sound, brilliant, but they cannot bring the business acumen to intersect well. So we look for the good mix hybrid approach when we look for candidates, right? So take that approach, like take at least three domains of interest and trace back, like always reverse engineer. I mean, I'm from security, like I believe in reverse engineering and everything. Go back from that angle to, okay, if I take these domains, what are the key areas that can help me prepare for the rounds? And you will know the KPIs, you'll know the business metrics on those small the business domain, right? So if you're in marketing, for example, what are the things matters, right? So all that funnel study and everything, customer journey, you have to nail it down because you're applying for that role, right? So that's what approach I will take.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks Nirmal.
fr- yeah,
Yeah.
from my side, yeah, I agree with what Nirmal said. I did had trouble connecting with the business thing. So in school, they taught us like models, all those things. When I go into interview for internship, I wasn't able to connect. So I did the same that I mentioned earlier. I went to an NGO, took up a work that they were struggling with, and used our tools taught in the class to solve it. So if I understood correctly, your answer in other sense also that you might be struggling to tell a story about the models, how you used it during the interviews. So one thing what Name will share from there, you will get some stories, and other you will get some more stories from the volunteering thing that you could do, connecting what you learned in the class. Yeah.
Yeah, and then another piece in the puzzle is like when I say you go back from the metrics or the business domain once you pick, when you try to pick your projects, try to pick one or two projects around that domain. So now you can speak the language, right? So like from the Kaggle has so many data sets, which data set to pick. Now picking up that 3 domains gives you idea that what projects to pick. And if you do that projects and put in your portfolio, then if the question comes, then you can always be prepared that in the work currently I'm not doing it, but I have my interest on this domain, I have done the project on this. And you can speak the language of KPIs business on that particular project because you already did the project as well, right? So all right, let's pick the last
Mm.
question and then
Thank you,
we'll wrap it
Nirmal.
up. And
Thank you,
then
sir.
someone has a hand up. Yashi, I hope I'm saying your name right. So
Hi, it's Yashi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nirmal and Sam, firstly, for putting this up all together. Um, I'm an undergrad. I'm a rising senior at my university. When I apply for data analytics positions, a lot of them are geared towards master's students. So I
mhm.
end up feeling that I have to offset it with higher skills, more involvement in co-curricular activities. I'm the president of ACM or the second term at my university. So I'm trying my best to be involved in programming projects that are geared towards roles where master students are also applicable for the same position. So my question to you is, how do I cut through the noise, and how can I sort of look competitive when I clearly have a whole degree missing?
Nirmal, do you want me to go first or you would like to?
You can take a first stab. I'll add my thoughts.
Yashvi, can you tell me when are you graduating?
I graduate May 25.
May 25. Okay. So 1 year to go. Okay, gotcha. So, from a personal experience, there are perks that the undergrads have than masters. So during my
Okay.
internship, they had Siemens, all the big companies have a program called Summer Student Program. So I was part
Mm-hmm.
of the strategic student program where every summer they try to bring in a student and try to keep them for entire school year.
Mm-hmm.
So the perk for undergrad, what I noticed was a lot of my peers used to come in their second year of undergrad and they stayed till the end of 3 years they were in school. Whereas for the masters, we were out by 1 year. So during the lot of interview process, I can't quote them, but what I've seen is they are more inclined towards the UG students
Okay.
because you would be coming back every year in that internship role and taking up more responsibility and expand your connections. For master students, we went in for the summer internship. By 1 year, we graduated, so we weren't allowed to be part of that program. To cut to the noise, I guess you do. So I did ask one of my director that, hey, why do you hire interns? Because I'm like, we are not the best experts. We don't know a lot about the domain expertise. Why do you hire me? I'm going to ask Nirmal too. Why do you hire interns too? So the answer that I got was, he said, Sam, we are already bogged down with a lot of day-to-day operations and big projects. The UG and the master students comes in to have expertise in a one topic and improve it, do research, study about it, and drive the project. If it doesn't go through, the project is dropped. It's fine. So that's the answer I got. And in simple words, what's my answer for to cut through the noise is my questions are. It's not my answers, but question to you is: have you volunteered? So I do volunteer with clubs too. But do you have specific stories about around data analytics and data scientists? Another question I have is for you is, uh, are you applying for top tier companies? If yes, if you don't have that backstory, you are trying to jump the wall directly. Second, what sort of data project you have? Is it just on data Kaggle, or you have interacted with stakeholders and gathered a project and prepared it? So these are the questions that will help you to cut through the noise.
So I have my entire journey around data analytics started with Neuromatch Academy, which is a machine learning summer school, and they were doing a deep learning course. So that is where I started from. I worked on Unit FD100 dataset, which is a food dataset, and I worked on non-binary classification.
Okay.
That becomes my building block for the story, like you were asking. As opposed to
But
applying to top companies, I think all of my applications have geared towards trying to cast a wide net as opposed to being specific. So
Okay, I have one question. So
yeah.
when you say deep learning, right? So deep learning is the application. So
Mhm.
my next question too is, what was the problem statement
The problem statement was non-binary classification of a food data set.
and why you were doing it?
So
Why
that
it's
was
needed?
part of the summer school. We had
Yeah.
to
So
fix the
that
data set. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is,
Okay.
for example, in your situation, what my story was. Hey Sam, why you were doing customer segmentation? I was
Mm-hmm.
like, Nirmal, I was part of data mentorship program and their registration was going down and they wanted to increase that registration. So that's
Mm-hmm.
when I took the data, bisected it. They will ask me more questions. So what I'm trying to say is, there's a tool part and understanding, and there's a business part of why you do it. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the part which will help you to cut the uh, master's thing. They will say, hey, this is a person who asks basic questions like why. In my current role in Amazon, senior analyst, I one of the frameworks we use is five whys. Is why have you joined this call? I joined this call for job search. Why are you looking for job? Until we ask five whys, we don't go ahead and accept this as a solution. So that's what I'm learning after my master's is they're teaching me how to ask why. So yeah, in simple words, from my end, my answer is in following this, as you're going to graduate next year, you don't have pressure of getting job right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is to keep on applying for internships,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get HR calls, and second is to get these projects where why you enjoy it is why segmentation is needed, why classification is needed. So you will tell, hey, so yeah, that's two session from me. Nirmal, what's your call?
Yeah, no, you covered pretty much everything. One thing I'll add is the story piece, right? The story piece is important. So that is important for sure. All right. So with that being said, I think I don't want to take too much of time. So what we will do is, if there's any questions, you can either reach out to me or Sam. My email and Sam's email will be shared. I will uh, I will probably put everyone's email on the BCC. So I mean, just for your privacy, but you guys can reach out to us, and then these questions that is been asked, I picked up from the chat. I will definitely cover it and send it back. Okay. If anyone can turn on the camera before I cut it off, I'll take a screenshot with your permission, but no pressure. And like I said, you don't have to, but if you can, that would be great. And then I'll take one screenshot for our event and we'll wrap it up. Awesome, guys. Thank you. On one, two, and three. There you go. Thank you so much, and enjoy your Saturday afternoon, morning, or evening, whatever it is. Thanks for joining, and I'll definitely plan to do more of these events for sure. And I'm
Awesome.
I'm, I'm hoping this was helpful. Thanks, Sam, for your time today. I definitely have to thank you as well.
Thank you so much, Nirmal. I have so much information that I was struggling to make it compact. Thank you so much for staying back so long. We are over 20 minutes, and I appreciate. I will try to share whatever I have with Nirmal to
Yes,
pass out into you guys, or we will try to do some other session. Thank you so much, and stay connected. All the best for the job
yes.
search. Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye bye.
Thank you.